So the next candlestick pattern you guys will definitely need to know, right? And it's also very common in today's market is something called the doji. Okay. So what exactly is a doji? So a doji, a common doji basically looks like this. It looks like a Christian cross or a plus sign. Okay. So what does a doji tell you? So a doji is basically made of a high and a low. So they're made of upper wick and a low wick. But the key characteristics of a doji is the open and the close are very near to each other. So this means that the doji candlestick's real body is actually very small. It's almost non-existent. Okay, so the opening price and the closing price are very small, are very close to each other. So what does this mean? This means that since the opening price and the closing price are so close to each other, this means that the market doesn't know where to move. There's basically equality and indecision in the market between the buyers and the sellers. So no one is in control. The market is probably ranging. It's taking a break or is deciding on where to go, whether to go up or whether to go down. So this is what a doji can tell you. It basically represents equilibrium in the market. So one key thing about the doji is if you see this pattern occur, most likely a reversal in trend is upcoming, or rather a reversal in trend is most likely going to occur. So this is what a doji can tell you. So of course, there are also different types of dojis. Okay, there are three main types. So the first one will be the doji I've seen earlier. It looks like a Christian cross, it looks like a plus. So the other two types of doji is basically your gravestone doji and a dragonfly doji. So let me go through with you guys the gravestone doji first. So what exactly is the gravestone doji? So a gravestone doji, right, as it has the same characteristics as every other doji, which is basically your opening price and your closing price are almost the same or very close to each other. Okay, so the gravestone doji has almost no real body, right? That's why the line over here. But the key difference here is a gravestone doji has a very, very long upper wick, as seen over here, the high. But it has almost no low wick at all, or very, very small lower wick. Okay, so the low, the open, and the closing price are all very similar to each other. But the high of the, or rather the highest price at that point of time is actually very, very far away. So what does this mean? So it basically means it's a very strong bearish candlestick pattern. It basically means very strong bearish reversal indicator. So this is what the gravestone doji tell you. So why do I say so is, let's say you break it down logically, right? Logically speaking. So let me annotate the graph. Okay, so what you can see here, this is the open, this is the close, this is the low, and this is the high. Okay, so if you break it down into different steps, so price actually opened over here. Okay, price actually opened over here. And what happened next was the buyers came in and pushed price all the way up to the high here. It created this high. However, the buyers were not strong enough and the sellers came in and pushed all the buyers away, causing the price to drop all the way down near to the opening, near to the opening price, and created a very small low, right? And closed near the open. So what this means is the buyers totally got flat out rejected, right? It got basically rejected and the buying pressure was rejected and the sellers came in and it overpowered the buyers. So this is what the gravestone doji tells you. So this is why the gravestone doji is often seen as a very strong bearish reversal sign. So especially when it occurs in the uptrend, most likely a downtrend is coming up. So this is what doji, gravestone doji candlestick can actually tell you. Okay. So next will be the dragonfly doji. So it basically is the inverse of the doji, or of the gravestone doji, in fact. So what exactly is the dragonfly doji? So it's the opposite. So the dragonfly doji basically have a very, very long low wick as seen over here, right? However, it has little to almost zero upper wick at all, so almost no highs. And the opening and the close are basically the same, or rather very close to each other. Okay, so a dragonfly doji is the inverse of the gravestone doji. So dragonfly doji basically represents very strong bullish pressure, or a very strong bullish reversal sign. Why do I say so? So let's break it down step by step again. Okay, so I've seen over here, this is the opening price of the dragonfly doji. What happened was the price opened and the sellers came in and caused price to push all the way down, creating the low over here. However, once that happened, the buyers all came in and pushed price all the way back up, overpowering the sellers and caused price to form this or almost no low and cause it to close near the opening price right over here. So this means there's a flat out rejection of the selling pressure and the buyers came in and took control, total control over the sellers. So this is a dragonfly doji. So it basically looks like a dragonfly with a long tail. Okay, and the gravestone doji basically looks like a gravestone with this long upper wick. Okay, so basically looks like a structure with reference to your name. So this is how you can actually remember. But if you break it down step by step, you you definitely understand the logic behind it. So Gravestone Doji represents very strong bearish reversal sign. Dragonfly Doji represents very strong bullish reversal sign. Okay, so these are your doji candlesticks. It's very common in the market. I believe if you actually pull out your trading view chart right now, you can actually see a few of these dojis lying around in the charts. So this is what they basically mean. Okay,